Are elections in Australia, and let's talk federal because that's where you are, and the AEC, can we as Australians actually have confidence in them, in your opinion?
Okay. There's one issue I do have. Firstly, we have a completely different system to the USA. Our system is far, far superior. You see in the USA where ballot boxes were turning up at these central counting locations, and we found another pile of ballot boxes under the table.
Crazy stuff. What was it in Florida? Who was it that won because they found a ballot box that just kind of appeared out of nowhere in Florida and flipped the state? Was that Clinton? Maybe I can't actually remember who it was, but just freaking nuts.
But our system, the best thing we have about our system is that the votes are counted in the individual booth. Right, so at 6 o'clock, what happens? We've got thousands of little school halls around the nation, thousands of little community halls. At 6 o'clock, you hear the beeps on the beep beep beep. It's 6 o'clock, and they lock the doors. Right, and the votes are counted in that booth on the night. Now, the first thing is you're allowed scrutineers. So every party is allowed scrutineers. So at the United Australia Party, we'll have scrutineers in every single booth around the country.
Yeah, amazing.
Now they just go, so there's a form we fill in on election day. We get them organised. They go, the system is, they go in like at 2 or 3 minutes to 6 before 6 o'clock. They hand their paper over to the AEC, a person in charge of the booth, and say, I'm an official scrutineer for the United Australia Party, and there'll be official scrutineers from the Liberals and the
Labor, Greens, everyone else,
And the doors are locked, okay? And all those votes are counted in that booth on the night. Okay. Now, as we're in the US, you said those ballot boxes are packed up and put in all sorts of cars and trucks, and who knows? There's no.
The chain of custody is so sus.
Right, that's correct. Chain of custody is the exact word, sort of thing. So now the good thing is, we know from past elections about how many votes will be cast in each ballot box. So if I'm looking at Alfred's Point Primary School, I think it's about 1,000 votes are cast there. Right now, we will know that Alfred's Point, it's a suburb. There's been no great development. There'll be if there are 1,000 votes cast there last time, there'll be somewhere between 950 and 1,050 votes at the next election. Okay,
something like that. Yep.
Okay, maybe a few more. But if there's 2,000 votes at Alfred's Point,
ding, 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 ding.
Ring.
Yeah.
Alarm bells ring. Okay. Also, so we know on the night now, our scrutineers can actually look. They basically what they do, they'll push several of the little school tables together. They'll get the ballot box and they'll tip the ballot box upside down, put all the votes on the table, right? And remember, there's scrutineers standing all the way around. The AC then open them up and start putting them in piles. Now, as a scrutineer, it's the scrutineers in America, they're like in chairs 20 yards away.
Yeah, often through a glass wall.
Yeah, and also I can see someone putting things through a counting machine. Right? No idea. Our scrutineers can go up to the table. They can't touch the table. They can't touch the vote. But they can stand up the table and they can lean over the table and they go, I challenge that vote. And they can stand there and watch as the peeps and say, I want those votes counted out in front of me. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hang on. You missed one. Or there's a vote in that pile. Right? So we have a really good process of scrutineering. So I'm confident that will be right. The only concern that I do have, I would have liked to have seen, I know this has been I think people should have to show their ID to vote.
Yeah.
You have to. It's funny, the same people that say, no, you should just be able to walk into the ballot box and say you're Jim Smith, right? Are the same people that say, no, you can't go into a restaurant without showing your vaccine certificate. But
it's nuts.
I can't go and buy a pair of shoes unless you show your vaccine. You got to produce your government document, document with your name on it, your identification, and things like that. I could take someone else's phone in. So I'd like to see that just an extra check that you have to show your ID off, and that that minimises the opportunity of people voting in multiple booths. And I think there also another improvement could be that there should be an electronic link up. So if I go into see at the moment, there's 40 booths in my election of use, 41, 42 booths. I can go into every booth and say my name's Craig Kelly, right?
Yeah.
And they can cross off my name, Craig Kelly, right? Because every
they've all got the list.
Doesn't have they're not linked.
So
the potential of multiple voting is still a potential there.
My understanding is that gets reconciled later, and they would come knocking on your door to say, "Oi, what have you been up to?" But they don't know. That's right. That
someone must have used my name.
So and they can't track that back to your vote, so they can't undo whatever you've done on that day.
Yeah, so I wouldn't vote. I wouldn't multiple vote under my own name, right? You'd multiple vote under someone else's name.
Yeah. Not that, to be clear, not that anyone here is advocating that. We are pointing out a weakness in the system. That's all we're doing.
That's correct. Yes.
Just to be clear.
So that's a couple of weaknesses we have in the system. The AE have said, oh, they're only minor ones, but there was Ewan Jones up in, I think it was the electorate of Herbert. I think it was the 2016 election, lost by 23 votes or something. Right?
Yeah.
And there were more than 23 people they found that had multiple voted.
Yeah,
so multiple voting could have cost Ewan his seat. But we will never know because you don't have those checks and balances in the system.
Yeah.
And I think that's important that they should be in the system, because what you want, irrespective of what the result is after the election, you want to bring the nation together.
Yeah.
And say,
confidence. Confidence in the results.
Whoever it was won fair and square. Okay. Good luck to them. They won the election. This is the democratic process. We want them to be a good government. We're going to hold them to account. And in 3 years' time, there'll be another election and we'll fight again. What happened
100%.
in the US was such a tragedy because irrespective of who's right or wrong about the issue, there's question marks over the result.
Correct. And there's people who will never accept Biden.
Yeah, when the system is so flawed, the voting system is so flawed and so open to potential manipulation and fraud.
Yeah.
Whether that manipulation, fraud happens or not, people think there's the possibility it can, and you end up with disharmony after the election, which doesn't help any nation.